Okay, in this video, I am going to attempt to explain what I've learned. And it's something that confuses almost everyone who starts using this portable VOLL EAV system. And that is, how does the hollow brass test tube work for testing substances? Even though it isn't plugged into the device, there's no wires attached. Okay, so the first thing to understand, so if you have the same Russian portable model as I do, you've probably asked yourself the same question, because I know when I got it, I know that the electrode hooked up to this solid one, and this is the one that you would hold into your hand, and then you would test things with this. But I emailed them and I was like, well, where does this hook to? I don't understand. Like, how do I get a reading, which I was getting a reading by just putting something inside of this or even just touching it? So I had to look that up. I had to try to wrap my mind around it as well. So the first thing to understand, so that I'm just reading what I've learned. The first thing to understand is this EAV device, it's not reading the substance like a vial of sugar. It's not reading the substance itself. It's reading your body's reaction to that substance. So we would be holding, so just let me moisten my hands, moisten the electrode. Okay. So let's just turn this on. Make sure that it goes up to 60. That means it's working right. So the first thing to understand is this. This device, it's not reading the substance, okay? It's reading my body's reaction to the substance. So if I'm holding, so when I measure myself, I have to hold the electrode and the wand in the same hand, okay? So that I can touch the points in the opposite hand. It's back. So you're holding this is called a passive electrode, which means your body is the sensor. Okay, I'm holding it and my body is the sensor. The device simply measures how the acupuncture point responds. Okay. So this is why the hollow test tube, it doesn't need any wires. Your body reacts to a frequency and the machine reads that reaction. So why does it work without wires? So most people will look at this like I did, sitting on the table, and say, how can that possibly do anything? It's not plugged in to anything. So the portable Deka VOLL model does not require the tube to be electrically connected. It works because your biofield is already connected to the device through the passive electrode. The tube simply holds the frequency of whatever substance you put inside of it. So, in other words, I'm the antenna, the device is the meter, the vial just provides a signal. Anything that enters into my personal energy field, even if it's just sitting a few inches away from me, okay, even like it influences your nervous system, and that influences the acupuncture point. It's the same as if someone enters a room and they have an energy that's going to affect your nervous system. So the mechanism behind this is called biofield entrainment, or biological inductive coupling is what they call it. So this means your body has an electromagnetic field. Substances carry their own frequency signatures. So every substance, everything has a frequency signature, even emotions. So when your body recognizes the frequency instantly, like, and you think of everything that doesn't have to be wired nowadays, like cell phones, right? Years and years ago, there was a computer, and now you've got like wireless phones. You think of everything that's electromagnetic, that's the waves, right? So not everything needs to be wired that actually affects us. So the meridian resistance changes when your body is around certain frequencies. And this device measures that change. So the same kind of analogy is actually used with muscle testing, homeopathy, tuning fork resonance. Okay, when you hit another tuning fork, like there's if you've got two tuning forks the same, and you hit one, the other one will just start resonating to that one. Hololinguistics, words affect. So I've got all the cards from Dr. Masaru Emoto, right? So this here, when it was frozen, just the word prayer was put up against water, and they froze that to like for a very specific amount of time, and it created this pattern. And that was just a word. So words are so powerful. No physical contact is needed. Your body is constantly scanning energy, and it's reacting to it. So let's talk about the tube itself. What does it actually do? It does not send electricity. It does not need to be plugged into any device in order to work. What it does, it isolates the vial from my hand. Okay, so anything I put inside that, it isolates it. It keeps the frequency clean and focused. It prevents contamination from other objects. It creates a consistent environment for testing. And it slightly amplifies the substance field because brass is conductive. Little piece of paper towel in there. So the brass is conductive, so it amplifies it. So it's simply a frequency chamber that holds the test substance. So this is the part, it says that most people don't realize, and the same with me, I had to wrap my mind around this. So the device it wasn't reacting to the sugar. The test that I did yesterday at the end of my video, where, I did a base test, and it was like 58. And when I introduced sugar into my biofield, it shot up to 80. So it didn't react to the sugar. I reacted to sugar. So the machine is only measuring not the sugar, but my body's reaction to something that's within my energy field. Because my body is an antenna, right? That's reacting to things that are close to me. So every substance has a frequency signature. When that frequency enters this whole circuiting system around me, even if it's indirectly, meaning not wired, my nervous system picks it up instantly. So when the sugar was placed inside of this hollow electrode, my body detected it. My middle finger, the allergy point on here, detected it. It reacted. The meridian spiked up, the reading jumped, and suddenly I was looking at an 80 on my display. So that's why EAV works even when the vial is not connected, it's not touching your skin. Because the vial, it's never being read by a sensor, okay? What's in here, it's never being read by a sensor. It's interacting with your biofield. So hololinguistics, let's talk about that. Words carry frequency. Emotions carry frequency. Intent carries a frequency. Thoughts, prayers, intentions carry a frequency. This is why just hearing or saying a stressful word can change your heart rate or your muscle tone. Just when someone says something to you or their tone, it immediately interacts with your nervous system and it changes it. So this whole process is the physical measurement of that concept. Words affect the body through frequency, and substances do the same thing. So the test vial, it's not being analyzed by a computer. It's interacting with my biofield, and my meridian system is responding. So it's simply measuring my body's reaction to what's in my biofield when I'm testing a certain meridian points. So and that's why muscle testing works, Reiki, you think of polarity therapy, any kind of energy work is the same principle. And let me continue reading here. Your body is constantly reading frequency, whether the frequency is a substance in an actual vial, whether it's a word being spoken, whether it's an emotion that just entered that room, the intention of somebody that is close to you. Your nervous system always responds first. The meridians follow, and the measurement shows up on the screen. So this is giving me a numeric, a number readout of something that my body has been doing my whole life. So when I tested, you go back to my video yesterday, when I tested the allergy point and I got a baseline, that's your baseline reading. Then when you put a sugar vial in to the hollow tube, notice it's not connected to anything. It was just sitting on cotton, just right in front of me. And you test that same point again. And when you watch that meter, it went up to 80. And so you'll see the reading jumps often into a very high range, sometimes 70, 80, or even higher. That's because my body reacted to the frequency of sugar. The machine picked up the change in my body. So the device measures my skin resistance. My body reacts to frequencies in my energy field. When that sugar entered my field, the device read my reaction through that acupuncture point. So it's called biophysics. It's not magic. It's not woo-woo. So that's exactly how the hollow brass test tube works on this portable Russian Deka VOLL EAV system. So your body is the sensing system, the device is the measuring system, and the brass tube simply introduces the frequency into my field. Whether it's something good for me, whether it's something that will stress my organs out, it could be a vitamin, it could be jewelry, it could be a food substance, all of that. I mean, you think of people that are allergic to peanut butter, and you couldn't, I remember when I was working at IBM, I bought one of those peanut butter, the Reese's peanut butter cups, and someone on the other side of me was allergic, very allergic to peanut butter. And I remember just kind of opening it, and we were divided with a big like divider, so he couldn't even see me. But then there was a person sitting behind me, and they said, Sue, and his name was Jack. He said, Jack is allergic to peanut butter. You can't open that. So, and I didn't even understand back then. It's like, what? He's over there. I'm over here. He's not touching it, right? Or even some people are so allergic to oranges, you can't really peel an orange around them, because even though they're sitting, 2 or 3 feet or across the table from me, it's going to affect them, the presence of that, even though they didn't touch it, right? It's still affecting them. That's because it's in their biofield. So hopefully that helps to explain. It is something that I had to wrap my mind around it as well. I was very confused. So I did a lot of researching and kind of put it all together so that I could do a video, read everything off as I was learning it. And it's really interesting because Dr. Voll had created what's called he doesn't call them acupuncture points. He called them control measurement points. And they're right here. This is the Russian manual, and then I've got the non-color English manual. But all these points here are called the control measurement points. So those are major points within each meridian pathway that represents the overall status of that entire system or that entire organ. So just by testing the 1 point on either side of the fingers or the toes, it accesses the general health of that entire meridian. And then of course you can go, like after you test that point, if it's very low, you can go all along down and test more, like all along. But there's a main point that you get your reading from. And Dr. Voll, some of his points, they don't line up with traditional Chinese acupuncture. He created, so there's different ones, like the lymphatic system point is on the outside of the thumb. Okay, usually in traditional acupuncture, I think it's just the whole thumb is to do with the lungs. But he's got the lymphatic system, which he created. I believe the nervous degeneration point is from him as well. There's different ones. I think the skin is his. On the toe, there's a skin point as well. So, but the lymphatic system of the body is on the thumb. And it's interesting because even on the feet, and then there's German points, and then there's Russian points, and they can all be just a little bit different. So it gets really confusing if you try and follow all different charts. So I stick with the charts that came with the actual device. Now it's interesting because if you want it to test, say, the spleen is only on the left foot, big toe. It's got to be the left foot. And the pancreas is on the right foot, big toe. So I thought that was really, really interesting. So this video, I'm going to wrap it up here. I have it here. So how the hollow brass test tube works even when there's no wires attached. Really, when you think about it, so many things are just working in our energy field that affects us, that we don't have to be wired to everything today. It's just the technology and the way that things are being discovered. So I hope that helps. And yeah, I mean, that was a big thing for me too. I had to get my mind around, how is this picking up? And if it wasn't doing anything, my values wouldn't have went all the way up to 80. And then when I take it away, went back to the normal, like it was doing something, right? Okay, well, have a good day. Bye-bye.